Imagine walking into your boss's office and giving notice because your writing has become your primary revenue stream. Or your podcast is successful enough that you can quit your day job. Or maybe having your marketing on autopilot so you can spend your time on the art career you love rather than on marketing. Are you a creative person who's great at what you do, but marketing makes you freeze? You're not alone. I help passionate, purpose-driven creatives overcome fear, find their brand voice, and build a marketing strategy that works for them. Oh yeah, I also make it easy and painless. It's never too late to grow the business you've been dreaming about. Book an introductory call with me, Rob Southgate, at southgatesmallbusiness.com today. And let's take the pain out of marketing together. Horsemen Publications is back at Indy PopCon with 14 incredible authors and more books than ever before. Meet and get books signed by Erica Lance, Valerie Willis, J.M. Paquette, Eric Deckers, Rick Hines, Morgan Moreau and Katie Jenkins, Nick Smith, PC Nottingham, Andy T. Hansen, Chelsea Burton Dunn, and K.N. Fitzwater. Catch them all at the Four Horsemen booth at Indy PopCon. PopCon Indy runs June 25th through the 29th, 2025 at the Indianapolis Convention Center. Get more information and order tickets at popcon.us/popcon-indy or click the link in this episode's show notes. But wait, we can't start yet. You need to know about today's podcast. This is an interview from 2024 that was only shared through newsletters and Facebook pages. Since we now have an Inkblots podcast and don't want you to miss out on these fantastic interviews, I decided to share them here. Make sure to check the current lineup at events that we talk about on these shows. You want to make sure that the authors we're interviewing are appearing this year. Okay, back to the podcast. Welcome to Inkblots, the show where I interview authors about their lives, writing, and the books they love. Be sure to follow the Inkblots podcast on Substack. Not only can you listen to the latest episodes, but our Substack also has interview transcriptions and links to books and other items that we talk about on the show. If you like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. It really helps us and our sponsors out. Oh, and leave comments. We really do read and respond to every one. Now, let's get on with the show. Welcome to Inkblots. I'm Rob Southgate, again hosting this show. I think it's going to be the full season by the time I'm done. So today, as you know, I've been interviewing the authors that are going to be at PopCon Louisville, August 23rd through 25th. Today I have PC Nottingham. PC has been at every writer's row, which is awesome. So you're going to have a little different perspective on some of these questions than some of the other people. But PC, why don't you start by introducing yourself, telling them a little about yourself?
Hey, I'm PC Nottingham. Rob, thanks for having me aboard. I've been with Four Horsemen for a few years now, and I've got 2 books that are out ready for purchase. They are Mummified Moon and Severed Squadron. They are books 1 and 2 of the Earthquake War series, and it's a space opera, sci-fi adventure type series where we're looking at some humans who are an oppressed minority in a galaxy run by much stronger, more advanced aliens, and we're just struggling to make it through. Book 3 is going to be up for pre-order in a few months. I can't give the precise details just yet. And then I've got other stuff coming down the pipeline too. I'm really excited about a middle grade series I've been working on for a very long time. It's set in the universe of Naver World, where we've got 5-foot tall rodents who are anthropomorphized and calling all the shots. And they are going on some fun medieval style adventures. The first trilogy is going to be starring a flying squirrel who is a ninja, and she is going up against the evil forces of the beaver who has become the daimyo of her island. And she's got to team up with her first crush / rival, Squirrel Samurai, and her brother or adopted brother who is a guinea pig from a Norse inspired island. And there's some other kind of Robin Hood stuff going on. There's some political intrigue going on and just good old fashioned rodent mayhem. So I'm
Rodent Man. Now,
really,
do you have a name for this series?
yes. The series is going to be called Ghosts and Iron. Because I'm saying ninja, but in world she's called a ghost, and I'm saying samurai, but in world they're called Iron Hearts. I wanted to use different names to kind of get the idea of what they were in their society without marrying myself to it, to give me some creative wiggle room. And then if I did make any historical errors, I have some protection from the
Right.
more Ravis history buffs.
Right. Those that, ninja pack that, they want to make sure you are completely accurate. No, you can play with it a little bit.
Yeah,
Don't want to offend them, right?
I was doing research, and I saw a picture of a ninja who had used his costume as like a kite, and he was like
What?
flying over this wall, and he just kind of looked like a flying squirrel to me. And then a few weeks later, a squirrel broke into my basement and completely outsmarted my dog and I. And those two ideas just kind of came together as the feisty main character of the series.
We had a squirrel get in the house one time. Front door was open. My wife's home. All of a sudden, I hear screaming. She says, "There's a squirrel in the house." I'm looking around like, "Where?" She goes, "I think it's behind the couch." It went in behind the couch and crawled. It was a sofa bed. It crawled up and inside and was jammed so far up that you couldn't see it. I'm taking the flashlight. All of a sudden, I see the little bit of hair. And I'm like, "Oh my God." My wife's reaction, throw the couch out. She
Yep.
couldn't even handle that a squirrel had been in. I'm like, "Well, what is it?" We threw the couch out. So yeah, and then you trap it, those squirrel traps. We trapped it. Well, that one went out. Then another one got in. We had this like crazy like 2 months where squirrels kept getting in. This guy gets in. We trap it. You're supposed to take it like 5 miles from your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There was no way we were putting a squirrel in the car. My wife's like, nope, nope, nope. Just get it out of the house. I release it. It runs right up the tree outside. And for the next week, every time I walk outside, it would chitter at me and yell at me. I'm like, dude, get over it. So yeah, squirrel stuff. I'm going to read about it and I'm going to build up some good hate for them. So, okay, enough about squirrels. What got you into writing? How did you end up becoming a writer?
So as a kid, I loved writing stories. If my parents' old computer still exists somewhere, there's probably a Microsoft 95 Word document saved of my very long Dragon Ball Z fan fiction, and my Spider-Man fan fiction. And I loved writing stories. And I had this great English teacher in high school who was really, hey, just write fiction, for the fun of it. And this is like my junior year of high school. He gave us this writing prompt that was just so awesome. After I turned it in, I just kept going with it. And it turned into a novel. And I was so proud of it. And I sent it in for contests and stuff and got nothing back. It was just so
Come on, first novel, that
yeah.
happens.
I was just so disappointed. I gave it up. But then a couple years later, I tried again. And it was a completely different idea. And I wrote it and I felt pretty good about it. I gave it to my wife to read and she said it was great. And then I made the mistake of giving it to some of my friends and coworkers to read. And they all kind of said the same thing. Yeah, I got through like the first 50 pages.
Oh,
And I was like, aha, my wife is trying to preserve my feelings. That wonderful, that wonderful person. So I, instead of just getting frustrated again, I said, you know what? I've got a good story here. There's something that pulled people through the first 50 pages. I bet I can work on my skills to get them through the whole book. So I decided to chalk that story up as a learning experience. And I went through as many free writing things as I could. Brandon Sanderson, God bless that man. He's got these YouTube channels where he recorded his lectures on creative writing at BYU. gobbled up all of those. That led me to the Writing Excuses podcast. I read Stephen King's on writing. I always get these two authors mixed up, and I'm so sorry. Jessica Brody and Janice Hardy. One of them wrote Save the Cat, writes a novel. The other one wrote The Difference Between Showing and Telling. And those were so immensely helpful. And then I found a group of other aspiring writers to trade feedback with. And all of those things together, I just kept working. And I wrote Ninja Squirrel 1. And I was really felt good about it. I queried it and queried it and queried it. And it got to be so depressing that I needed something else to take my mind off of all the rejections. So I wrote Mummified Moon as just like a palate cleanser because it was adult in space, a lot more violence, a lot more death. And there was a Twitter pitch contest, if you remember what Twitter used to be a couple years ago.
Right, when it was actually still Twitter.
Yeah. And I pitched Mummified Moon in a tweet, and someone from Four Horsemen saw it, they liked it, and they invited me to query. And about 9 months later, I was holding the first copy of Mummified Moon in my hand, which was pretty insane. And then I went on the Drinking with Authors podcast with CEO of Four Horsemen, Erica Lance. And when we had been drinking in between takes when we were on a break, I mentioned Ninja Squirrel. And I won't say it here, but I told her who the inspiration for the bad guy was. And she was like, you need to send that to me right now. So it was very affirming. And then I just got the edits back from my editor on those, and my editor loved them. So it was nice to know I was right all along. But I'd say, to give you some context, listeners, this was all within the span of like 5 years, from writing the book that no one could really get through to today.
Interesting. Well, you know, another lesson in there that I heard when you said they wrote about 50 pages and they dumped off. Actually, when I was studying screenwriting, that was something that I was taught, was at the 20-page mark, you got to make something that makes people go, boom, I'm in the story and off I go. Because a lot of scripts, people will like, hey, read my script. And you get about 20 to 30 pages in and you're like, yeah, I get the idea. They're like, no. That's where you flip the switch. Everything changes. And now you make them drive to the end. So when you said that, that's what I was thinking, is like, oh, he needs that hook right there.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That's really cool. So you're talking a couple of different genres here. What drew you to science fiction? What was it? I mean, is that like a big thing for you, or are you just like, nope, just want to tell a story in space?
Bit of both. I've blurred my background to hide my messy basement, but there's a very large stack of Star Wars board games behind me. Loved watching Star Wars as a kid. Oh my gosh, the way more than Star Trek, I think, because of the more like mystical side of it.
Right.
So that's why I tell people it's more space opera than science fiction, because there's some more mystical elements to it. It's not just Jedi in the Force with a different coat of paint, but we've got like some cosmic entities that are at play, playing a little fast and loose with some things in physics, like faster than light travel. But yeah, I've just always loved it because of Star Wars as a kid, and then getting a little older, getting into Asimov and Dune and Ursula Le Guin and some of the more modern guys, like I'm blanking on the author's name, but the Red Rising series.
Yeah.
So part of that is just, I think space is fun. There's just so many avenues.
Space is fun.
Yeah, there's just so many avenues you can go with it. It just excites that idea of what's possible.
Yeah, well, you know, like I'm a big fan of Philip K. Dick, and I bring him up a lot when people start talking about what you're talking about. And like so many authors get stuck writing characters that, like, they have two legs and they have two arms and they're a lizard, but it's really a person.
Yeah.
And Philip Dick in the book, I think it was Galactic Pot Healer. He had all these aliens all getting together, and one of them that stuck in my head was literally a tray with jelly on it, and the jelly was the smartest thing in the universe. And that to me like blew my mind because it like solves a problem, but everything is telepathic. And the thing that I got stuck on was like, how did it know to make the tray? But forget that. I love that. I love that like it's limitless where you can go with space, you know? If you're writing a romance, there's only so much you can do, unless it's a romance in space. So I love that. I really appreciate that. And flying squirrels, I appreciate that too. So well done, PC. What is writing? Here's a question that I really have been getting great answers to, and I'm sure I will from you. What has writing taught you about yourself?
So it's given me some of my self-confidence back. It's also helped me approach um, thinking through problems a little bit differently. Reading and writing definitely teaches you empathy um, for people in different situations than you, I think, beyond any political ramifications about talking about diversity. Like, diversity is really important in fiction because it gets you to empathize with people whose situations are completely different than your own and situations you'll never find yourself in, but you can still experience it through the lens of these characters. And it's certainly writing has definitely taught me a lot about patience and the need for collaboration. It's not this kind of lonely thing everyone seems to think it is if they don't know, because you really need other writers and you need editors and you need cover artists and you need people to bounce ideas off of and you need people who read but aren't writers, and you need different people who read different genres to all take a look at it. So while I'm very much an introvert, this has forced me outside of my comfort zone a little bit. And then going to cons like at Writers Row, it is so much fun, man. But to be extroverted for that many hours in a row,
It's exhausting,
it's
right?
yeah, but it's good. So definitely come say hi to me and draw out our conversation so you can see how awkward I get after a couple of minutes.
Well, you know what I love at Writers Row is like the people that come up, they get their signature, some of them take selfies, and then you go and do panels and like they get that experience with you that to them is like, wow, I had this time. When we saw, Joe Hill at a panel, like forever I can picture him at the panel and that personal thing. That's why I love these so much. And I get it. I get it. You get to be an extrovert, you get to live in someone else's shoes for a few hours, which could really expand your mind. It's really cool. Didn't Bob Dylan say that?
Probably.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, that's a great answer. We're still at 100% for great answers on these. So you already talked about authors you like and some books. You didn't, yeah, I'm going to framework it differently because we only talked about science fiction. Forget science fiction. I mean, it can be in there, but who would you say are your three must-read authors that
Um, I'd say it's a bit of a time investment, but Joseph Heller's Catch 22. I remember reading that in senior year of high school in English class. That was the first book I ever read that I laughed out loud.
yeah,
Um, it's just such a masterclass in situational humor, but also just the satire, um, and the way it shows the pointlessness of war is just so masterfully done. So definitely put that on the list. Um, Tolkien for sure. Even though his writing style would probably not fly anymore, people want things a little more fast paced. But just seeing how much of a world he crafted that so many people just want to get lost in and still um, producing new works inspired by it however many years later. And then a third for someone a little more modern, also a bit of a time investment, but Brandon Sanderson, seeing how also well thought out his worlds are, but also very personable characters, people who are in these systems, but also have to kind of like rise above what's pressing in on them, and just the library of stuff that man's written in several different fiction genres, really worth taking a look at
Okay,
him too.
so if you had to pick one Brian Sanderson piece, like you could pick a series, you could pick a single book, what would you say is like, here it is, this is top of the mountain?
So I would probably say Mistborn if you want a series. And if you can invest that much time. If you just want to one shot, his first book that was ever published, Elantris, really, really good. If you just want like one
Yeah,
quicker
one
thing.
quick shot, learn who
Yeah.
Brian Sanderson is. Yeah, yeah. It's funny, Mistborn is that one that every every reader nerd I know that ventures into, fantasy, and that's always it's like that and Lord of the Rings are the first two out of people's mouths. That's saying something for a modern writer. That's pretty impressive. Okay, PC. Now you've done Writers Row, you've done PopCon now twice, and you're about to do the third one in Louisville now. So you know what it's like. So you understand it. So here, this is your dream convention. We're now outside of PopCon. We're wherever with whatever. What would you want? Who is it? Who is it? I put a second question in there and I got to get rid of it. Who is it that you would most want to meet and have a conversation with?
Am I going as a fan or as an author? Because the answers are different.
Oh, I want both answers. You're going as a
Okay.
fan. You're going as a fan.
So if I'm going as a fan, um, meeting Ryan Reynolds would be pretty awesome. Um, that dude just can't miss. Um, like
Yeah.
I've never, with the exception of the Green Lantern, um, so many things he's done have just been effortlessly hilarious and effortlessly awesome. Uh, so I've been geeking out over him since the third Blade movie. Um, so yeah, and then seeing them again in the X-Men movies, and then now as Deadpool is just it's just great. And then the other non-superhero things you've done too have been all hilarious, like Waiting.
Yeah. Free Guy. Did you like Free Guy?
Haven't convinced my wife
Oh,
to watch it.
you're missing out. I loved Free
Yeah,
Guy. I was actually surprised. I thought it was going to be okay. Then I'm like, oh no, this movie's great. And
yeah.
Jodie Comer's in it. I mean, you can't get better than that.
Oh, we took my kids to see If, and he was great in that too.
Oh, that's it, it just hit I think it's on Peacock or someplace. We just saw it and we are like, oh, we gotta watch this movie. So all right. That's a recommendation. Don't go see it the weekend of PopCon. Come to PopCon, but then maybe at night you're tired, panels are over, go watch If. PC recommends. Okay. You're a writer though. That I'm not skipping that answer. You're a writer. Who is it that you want to meet and have a conversation with?
So if I'm a writer there, I'm in business mode. Um, that's when I would like talk to a handful of actors who I fan casted in my head as my characters. And I'm like, read this book, and then if you like it, show it to some people. I've got I've got a role with you in mind. Um, I'm assuming that won't work, but if you see me talking to Michael Coulter at PopCon, that might be what
Might be
I'm
an
talking to him
indicator.
about.
Okay, wait.
As,
I'm gonna
as
make you
someone's
I'm
strong
going to
arms
make
me
you
away from
hold
him.
it. Listen to this.
Okay.
We have a second little interview that we do that is only available through like our newsletter. Eventually, I'll put it out other ways. But that's actually one of the three questions. So you're going to say some names, but you can only say it on that. I'm going to stop you here. Okay. Last question. Who is it at this writer's row that you are most excited to meet in person?
Um, it's I've met a couple of these people before. Um, Chelsea Burton Dunn and I are good buds. We met at two PopCons ago, and she's been on the other podcast that I'm a frequent voice on, Radio Free Write. Look us up wherever you get your podcasts. So it'd be great to meet her. I can't remember every single person who's going to be on there, but I am looking forward to meeting CK Westbrook. She and I have been emailing back and forth. We read each other's books. So I just read her fourth book that I think is coming out pretty soon.
It
So it's
is.
just being able to give her a fist bump and thank her for letting me see an early copy of it.
Fantastic. All right. That's it. So PC will be at PopCon Louisville, August 23rd through 25th, although he's only there on Saturday. So if you're only coming on Friday, you're going to miss him. So come on Saturday, meet PC. He's going to be signing books. You can take selfies with him, but he's also going to be doing some panels that day, and he's great on panels. So you want to come and have the PC experience, we'll call it. Nottingham Palooza. I don't know what to call it. We'll figure something out. But come see him at PopCon Louisville. PC, what's the best place for people to follow you? Where are you most engaged?
So if you're on the Twitter, I don't call it by its new name. You can follow me at PC Nottingham, and Instagram Nottingham-PC. You can sign up for my newsletter, authorpcnottingham.com, where you can get a bonus free story exclusive to you, and as well as some other sneak peek content. And if you ever cosplay as one of my characters, take a picture of yourself and tag me in it. I will let you name a character or a place in an upcoming book.
That is exciting.
That is my offer. Or if you ever got any fan art, that too.
Yeah, and I mean, he'll for sure love you forever if you show up at PopCon Louisville in the cosplay. That's the ultimate right there.
That'd be amazing. Yeah,
that'd be the end of PC Nottingham. All right, PC, thank you. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Everybody, come see him, follow him, get his newsletter. We're out. Thanks, PC.
Thank you. See you soon.